ready for the restart. 20 laps to go, 27 cars on the lead lap. Marcus Ambrose still running, but he's down a lap after that slide coming out of the tri-oval that put us under this, the 8th caution flag of the night.
Well, it's become pretty obvious. If you're going to make any kind of a move, if you're going to get in near the front or take the lead, you're going to have to do it on these restarts. And this is one of those times right here when it's going to get desperate and you're going to start forcing your way in, trying to get down in line or make a pass. Here is what's going to happen. Teammates together no longer. Kenseth and Biffle are on the front row in Fords. Earnhardt and Harvick, the second row Chevrolets. Hamlin's Toyota, Burton's Chevrolet. And we pack up Sunday and head for Phoenix to duel in the desert on Fox.
I get a feeling Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88, he is going to stay glued to that 17 of Matt Kenseth. We are getting a report that Matt Kenseth can hear his crew and his spotter, but they can't hear Matt, which honestly, with 19 to go, no more pit stops, that's the best of the two evils.
Denny Hamlin's led the most laps tonight. Kenseth third on that list behind Hamlin and Biffle, who starts right alongside him. They have turned the lights back on the safety car. We were set for the restart. They're going to add 1 lap, and then we'll go back to green for the final 18. Ready to restart. The extra lap was to reposition Joey Logano from 7th back to 18th for not maintaining pace car speed. They've lined him up behind Jamie McMurray in the number 1.
That's a big hit.
Fords on the front row, Chevys in the second, a Chevy and a Dodge in row 3, 2 Toyotas row 4, 2 Chevys row 5. Who will win the Daytona 500? 18 laps from the checkered flag. Green flag.
Kenseth might be in trouble getting that 4 out on that restart. That outside line is going to have a pretty good head of steam, but he pulls up in front of Greg Biffle like Greg Biffle did him in the qualifying race.
Yeah, he saw that line coming and he jumped up there just at the last second. Now he's getting a shove from Biffle, his teammate in the 16.
Those are the two best cars, the 16 and the 17. It's just a matter of whether they can hang together and work together.
And they were 6 miles an hour faster than the pack going into the corner as Kenseth moved up and found his teammate, Greg Biffle. Biffle now Kenseth's wingman. Dale Jr. pushing Biffle right up to Kenseth's bumper.
Boy, he is. I mean, they had a head of steam coming down into the tri-oval here. Dale Jr. was going to try to push Greg Biffle to the lead, but Biffle would have nothing of it. He stayed behind his teammate.
Harvick's 29 on the high side with his teammate, Jeff Burton. The alliances are forming.
I think Dale Jr. is going to have to rethink his strategy a little bit. He's got 2 Fords in front of him. He's got a Toyota behind him. He really is kind of in no man's land right now by himself.
But what I've been seeing with Kevin Harvick in the 29 we're riding with and his teammate Jeff Burton in the 31, just like earlier, Burton cannot push for any period of time.
It's either getting hot or he just can't. I'm not sure why he can't stay hooked up. It's got to be heat.
3 of those Richard Childress Chevys now right together. Harvick, Menard, and Burton. 27, 29, and 31.
That's those 4 cars down the bottom right now. The 17, the 16, the 88, and the 11. Those are 4 cars that have shown a lot of speed all through this race.
You see the double yellow line at the inside of the racing surface. You cannot go below that line and advance your position, or there will be penalties. So right now, for those front 4, that yellow line's their best friend.
You know, another driver that's up there, Ryan Newman in that 39 car we're looking at. And remember, he was our second caution of the race way back on lap 12 when he had that flat right rear. And here he's up there in the top 10.
Yeah, if you're going to have trouble, have it early and get that lucky dog or a couple of breaks, and you're obviously right back in it. But it's going to be interesting to see if these 4 guys here at the front of the field will stay hooked up like this to the end and not give anybody a chance to get up there and challenge them.
Kevin Harvick leading the outside lane. He's a Daytona 500 champion. He's going to need a push from Jeff Burton if he's going to challenge.
Well, Burton's a good pusher for a little while, but he doesn't seem to be able to push very long. I haven't seen any speed out of that 29 car. He's been up there, but he hasn't been able to stay up there real well.
Here's the push, and Harvick, the 2007 winner, inches his way past Paul Menard, trying to get even with fourth place Denny Hamlin now.
Well, you couldn't get a better push. The 31 is all over him, and they got a two-car tandem going on. But, man, it's hard to close up on that front pack.
Yeah, you could see right there, it went right at 200 miles per hour when he just leaned on Harvick in that 29.
Now, maybe down the back here, they could get a head of steam up and get a little side draft, maybe.
That's Ryan Newman, 39, with Paul Menard.
Sometimes on the outside, they're getting into turn 3. You can pick up a little room, make up a little time, but they actually look to me like they might even be falling back a tad.
13 laps to go.
Oh, trouble, big trouble.
Mid-pack. Sliding and spinning into the infield, McMurray. And sliding up the racetrack, one car going to coast to the bottom. That's Eric Almirola. Regan Smith was in it, and Casey Kane. The left side of his car torn up, and we're back under caution for
Regan
the ninth
Smith.
time at lap 188.
Almirola, the one car there, McMurray's the one I saw. Man, he was spinning around like a top.
Carl Edwards has damage to the right front, our pole sitter.
It's about mid-pack. You see McMurray right back here. He's the first guy I saw go around in the. Got a little wobble.
I believe he blew a left rear tire. That thing started wiggling around, and as he came into the tri-oval, it spun out, and when it came to a stop, you can see the left rear tire is completely torn apart. So I think he had a cut tire, and the thing just got away from him.
Yeah, he was wobbling through the tri-oval there, and finally went around with him.
Another driver involved, Brad Keselowski, right there.
Wonder
All
if
right.
Brad twittered that.
Right
Probably not.
there is McMurray.
Yeah, Keselowski and the 2 just drove underneath Casey Kane in the 5. Just nowhere to go.
Watch Tony Stewart there. He just worked his way right back. Keselowski missed that wreck by inches.
Boy, Almirola came up the track right in front of Dave Blaney, who missed him. Watch that orange and black number 1.
Yeah,
right
right
side of your screen.
Right here. He starts wobbling right here, and then the car starts goes around, and it looked like a top. I saw that orange car just spin around, and look at Tony Stewart right there getting right through that mess.
Well, Stewart did get some damage in the first part of that crash,
Yes,
though, Darrell.
he did. Yes, he did.
And from Casey Kane.
Whoa, Keselowski almost went over.
We got let's see, where are we at?
And we'll ride with Regan
Three
Smith
wide,
in the furniture
three wide,
car.
43 still outside, right there, you see it?
I don't think he can see anything.
Carl Edwards, our pole sitter.
He almost made it through. Got some damage right there near the end of it.
Casey Kane.
Darrell, he did the same thing with his hands that Jimmy Johnson did in that wreck on lap 1.
We've had in-car cameras in these cars for years, and up until recently have I seen drivers let go of the wheel and tuck their hands away and out of the harm's way like that. They've learned a lot about this over the last year or two.
Keep in mind, Casey Kane is a longtime open wheeler. owns a sprint car team. And, a defensive posture, a learned response when something like that happens. And with our new dual path onboard cameras, we can give you 2 views from the in-car. Here's what Jamie Mack had to say.
Broke on my car. I don't know what it was. I think the same thing they did the 42. Spun out on me.
Well, you think about it, before Montoya hit that jet dryer, he was complaining about his race car, and you could see him wiggling down the back straightaway. Heard Jamie just say, maybe the same thing happened to my car.
Both the Chip Ganassi cars out of the race. There's Almirola, the new driver for Richard Petty. Ran a strong 500, but he'll be out of the race with 11 laps to go.
Well, I don't know if this changes anything or not. It could when we have a restart here with Kenseth and Biffle up there on the front row. Dale Jr. gets behind Biffle again, or behind Kenseth again. That's a pretty stout pair right there.
Regan Smith able to continue with that damage, and it looks like so too will Carl Edwards. Not so the 43.
Several guys have slipped in the picture here, Mike. Mark Martin's up to 8th. He's been kind of riding around back there all the race long. He's got a teammate up there in Martin Truex. There's some good teammate combinations right now.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., one of the Roush Fenway drivers, he's made his way up to 12th in that 6 car.
Down on the inside, McMurray loses control, and it's on.
They're going to wreck. There's no doubt about that. But you just got to use your head, be smart, and make it happen.
That was before this most recent accident, the 9th caution of the day.
You know, every time I can recall saying to myself, I'd hear a wee voice inside of me say they're going to wreck. And every time I didn't react to what I was thinking, I ended up regretting it. And I think there's a perfect example of, you know, they're going to wreck. What do? I mean, you know, you can't stop. Got to keep going.